And look at Jochen Hahn and Antonio Albacete. The two of them go flying through the right-hand side, then the left-hand side. Jochen Hahn around the outside, and Lucas Hahn, no father and son, come together on the exit of turn one.
And the best thing about this is the fact that it's still a 15-minute sprint race. They've not extended the time of the race. It's still just like, it's going to be, 7 laps of Spa-Francorchamps?
We get to the real nitty-gritty of motorsport. Cranstone and Smith are side by side for the title in the very final race of the season. As we go back up the hill towards the Schumacher S. Nils Kor clips the back at 10. Simon Povey clips the side of Nils Kor. They go over the hill and Povey's around.
Oh my god, that's going to definitely be the thumbnail, and it hit me in the right direction.
Thank you so much.
23 cars.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Chaz Draycott Media, and welcome to another round of the Evolution Sim Racing GT3 Championship. This is the 7th season of this wonderful, wonderful championship, and we're here for the Split A race. There's 2 races going on every single evening. There's 2 entire race meetings going on every single evening that the championship partakes in. We have Split A and Split B. Over here we have the elite drivers and the pro drivers in 2 different classes. Then we also have the Premier and the Evo classes over in the B split, which is commentated by the wonderful Joe Glass and Dara Thacker. Unfortunately, tonight is going to be commentated here by just yours truly. Unfortunately, Ed May is not very well at the moment, so will not be with us for this evening, but we wish Ed a speedy recovery and look forward to getting him back into the commentary box. Just want to say a very quick thank you as well to Tim Arnold, who's just become a member of Chaz Draycott Media while the start and everything has been coming up and the countdown and everything. Thank you, Tim. So, we're all looking forward to a good fun night of racing here at Long Beach. What a circuit this place is. Legendary in many forms of motorsport, tight and twisty in nature, and very narrow as well at the end of the day. It's a street circuit. It's going to be mighty, mighty spicy for the drivers to get used to this place tonight. I don't think anybody's really looking forward to trying to survive throughout the races. There's 2 half-hour races coming up, and they are both going to be mighty, mighty challenging. It's going to be very, very tough for them to get this one right this evening. Let's have a look at some championship standings, shall we? And we'll bring them up on screen now. You can see that Fraser Smith is currently top of the pile, having a brilliant time. Despite finishing 15th in the very first race of the season, Fraser has had 4 race victories and a DNF since. He's ahead of Kevin Poon, who won the very first race of the season, but did not register in the correct car when it came to Road America. So he had 2 DNSs there, not even DNFs. 2 non-starts. Tristan Dinnebrega, 3 second places on the board for him so far this season. Yannis Albert with 2 podiums to his name, no race wins just yet. Luke Lucchese next up in 5th place, has a podium, but he's had a bit of an inconsistent season. He'll want more. Daniel Lee has a podium. He actually wrote a little script and did a video about the previous round at Virginia International. He questioned his own existence, apparently. He didn't have a great time. A bit further down, we've got Ryan Ottens in 7th, Luke Van Gortel in 8th, Matteo Carbonari 2nd in race 2 at Road America. He is 9th, with Luke King completing the top 10 at the moment. Behind him, you have Kevin Daniels, and the 12th place driver is Dean Powell. Next up, we have the pro standings, and it's Chris Jennings which is top there, but he's only got 14 points over Alex Fretwell. And we've got Bobby Trundley in third position, 35 points off Alex. So we've got 2 Porsches in the top 3, but we have many Porsches inside the top 10. We didn't get this right last time, did me and Ed? It's not Laurent, it's not Laurent. No, it's... Come on, Chaz. It's not Laurent, it's not Laurens, it's Laurens van der Water. And then it's Victor van Zeist. Laurens de Dapper, so we've got 2 Laurens for the same team, which is the LS Racing team. Jack Wyborn in 7th with Jason Hodgson 8th, Francois Brandet 9th, Martin Kenyon in 10th position. I think Martin's going to have a pit lane start for this one. I was looking at the stewards' outcomes and Martin received a few penalty points after last time. Stephen Donnelly had a great start to the campaign, didn't he, for DXT Solar. 11th in the championship now, though, after having a 12th, not turning up at Road America, and then having a DNF at Virginia. Matt Hoyland also having a bit of a tough time at present when it comes to championship points. Looking over at the team standings, Quartermass are absolutely flying at the moment, 595 for them. 4 drivers doesn't necessarily mean that they have an advantage in terms of, 4 drivers scoring points as opposed to 3. It's only the top few drivers in each of the races themselves that actually count points. RDSA have 3 drivers, 552 points for them, but it's close behind as well. Suma GP2 Porsche only 2 points ahead of the RLH team. Then it's Axis Sim Sports ahead of STL, and then DXT in 7th. Then it's LS Racing with their Porsches and Lamborghinis. They've got Branko Kapovic, I believe, back here this evening. I'm just having a look down the order. No, it doesn't look like we have Branko this time round. We also have Laurens de Dapper and Alexander Draby for that team. And we also have the Viraco team in 9th, and then DXT are in 10th position. You can see it's very close all the way down the rest of the field, though, with all of the teams that have scored points. But right now, it is time to get out there on circuit for qualifying, and it's Daniel Lee that we currently look at the moment here at Long Beach, and you can get an idea of just how narrow this place is if you go on board with the Mustang. Let's just have a look at this here. Round the fountain he goes, through the double right-hander here. Looks like he's just trying to get a bit of temperature in the tyres. He's throwing it about a bit. Horrible corner there, that little right-hander over the crest. You can easily clip the curb and sort of clip the inside of the front wheels over that curb, and it'll lob the car completely sideways. Tight left-hander here. You're going to hear a lot of scraping noises as cars seemingly hit the wall there. They won't actually hit it. Got another right-hander coming up now to get onto the back straight. This back straight is going to be quite important here tonight. So on the formation laps that they do, you'll notice that the drivers usually go 2 by 2. They usually go 2 wide down these straights and around the formation lap. They're going to form into single file round here for this last section, which is very tight. You'll see exactly why in just a second. As Danny goes around this double left-hander here, look at this for a corner. This is the final hairpin here at Long Beach. You basically come to a stop to get around it. They're not going to go 2 wide round there. But Danny now heads on to a lap down the very long start-finish straight. It's not even straight. Goes around this big long curve. Listen to the Mustang. Makes a great old racket, doesn't it, that Mustang? Here's our championship leader, Fraser Smith, currently just towards the end of a lap at the moment. This is his first fly-in lap, I believe, that he's just on. Currently screaming down towards the final section of the lap. It's good to see that we've got Stephen Donnelly back with us again this evening. Stephen's got a bit of damage on the car, though, on that front right corner. He's clearly been pushing a little bit hard already. Kevin Poon, he's still out there. Second place in the championship for Kevin, wanting to chase down Fraser Smith and get some points off him. Here's the fountain section again for you all. Mighty beautiful, but mighty tricky in a GT car. It's hard to know where the limits are, really, with the edges of that curb. At the moment, it's Luke Van Gortel fastest in the elite class, and it's Jean Breitenbach, Matteo Carbonari, Kevin Daniels and Kaz Brinkhausen. Bobby Trundley fastest in pro ahead of Alex Fritwell. Chris Jennings, then Liam Kelso, and Victor Van Zeist at the minute 1.6 seconds off. Dean Powell, you can see there, has not done a representative time for sure. He's going to hope to improve on that on his second circulation of the track here tonight. A quick shout out to the championship sponsors, Kame, GP2 Group and Keenan Eco Energy. Thank you so much for the support for the series and what we do here at Chaz Draycott Media. It's great to have the wonderful support as well from the series admins, James Bostock in particular, really helping with everything that we put together for this championship. White Van Gaming calling it absolutely right. A car park on lap 1. Indeed, mate, indeed. Hello to all of you in the chat. Lovely to have you here with me this evening. We've got 2 half-hour races coming up as well, so it's sprint racing once again this evening. Here's that final corner for you with Alex Fretwell. Incredible, isn't it? It's awesome. I set that camera up a while ago just because it's the best way of getting a look at everything as it all goes on through there. Are we expecting another win from Fraser Smith then this evening? It's going to be hard for him to get 2. If he wins the first one, it'll be hard for him to repeat it by climbing back up the order for the second race. Just showing you the overall standings, you can see that Laurens the Dapper absolutely flying at the moment. 5th outright, faster than Kevin Poon, faster than Paul Cowlishaw, Danny Lee, Matteo Carbonari, and Gilles Philipparts as well. Raz Harper's just gone into 5th place overall. We've not seen much of Paul Cowlishaw. He's back in the Honda NSX. God, that tannoy's loud. Thanks very much, Tim. He's just posted in the chat. He's been a member of Chaz Draycott Media now for 1 month. He says, love all the great content, Chaz. Thank you very much, mate. Paul Cowlishaw, while we're looking at him, goes fastest by 0.004 of a second. Very well done to Paul. Good stuff in the NSX. Lovely, lovely race car is this NSX. Makes a great old racket. It's quite a smooth noise, though. It's not too distracting from a driver's perspective. It's quite quiet from the external shots as well, actually, which is interesting. Just on the same piece of tarmac is Jason Hodgson. So if you hadn't got the gist there, by the way, these guys are in lone qualifying, so they're all in their own sort of individual sessions on track. They do not see one another. They do not benefit from the slipstream. They cannot hit one another. They are all just in their own place. It's like having your own private session. Stephen Donnelly goes 4th fastest in Pro. Yeah, I often have to remind people that this is my bread and butter. Motorsport commentary is my primary job role and profession, as well as obviously doing the broadcasting here on iRacing as well. Here's Glenn Andre Christensen. It's good to see him back out on the circuit. He's in the Chapter X Ferrari. Lovely to see Chapter X back with us again. Henning Hauger is also on circuit tonight in the NSX. Gorgeous looking car as Tristan Dinabrega goes fastest for RDSA Esports. Another NSX near the front of the order. Andrew Fairley, how's he getting on in the gorgeous ADX Racing Esports machine? 6th fastest for him at the moment. He was a front runner at Road America. The Mustang might simply struggle tonight just because of the pure size of the thing, as Kevin Poon goes 2/10 quicker than anybody else, takes provisional pole position. Just going to have a look at Kaz Brinkhausen actually in another one of the Mustangs. He's only a second off pole. Laurens the Dapper absolutely dominating in the pro class at the moment, although Chris Jennings has just closed that gap down. Chris is the championship leader at the moment in the pro class. You might have to bear with me every so often like that, with a little break here and there just for a drink. Trying to talk constantly while commentating on your own is not easy. Is Bobby Trundley, an early front runner in the pro class. Bobby in the very subtle Quartermass Motorsport Porsche. Quartermass, a team that I used to race against and race with over on R Factor 2. It's interesting to have seen the guys now come over to iRacing and see them more frequently on here with this updated livery, with the metallic segments of it and the little sort of lightning bolt bits down the side. Listen to the Porsche though, what a great noise it makes. Love the Porsche 911 GT3 992. This is the GT3R version, the GT3 car. Certainly looks and sounds the meatballs, doesn't it? Luke Lucchese has just gone 2nd quickest, just under 1/10 of a second off Kevin Poon. Christopher Steinen, hoping to improve, but he's kissed the wall on the exit of the final corner. That's not going to help him at all. He's going to head across the line. Here's Ashley Brooks in potentially the prettiest car in the entire field. The number 19 MRC 495 Honda NSX. Absolutely gorgeous looking race car, although Ash really throwing it through that hairpin. It looks really good round there, doesn't it? Looks really comfortable in that slow speed stuff, does the NSX, although it's 2 Porsches fastest at the minute. Ash just kissed the wall on the inside there on the run to the line, which was interesting. We'll come back to that in a minute. We'll come back to Jean Breitenbach. Jean does this thing, for those of you that haven't seen it before, John hides at the end of every practice session, basically. Fraser Smith has only just got a time on the board, and he's gone 8th fastest. The championship leader, only just inside the top 10. Andrew Fairley saying he's a bottle job. You're 9th, mate. You're not doing too bad. It's a very competitive field around here. It's mighty, mighty close. John Breitenbach is doing his usual here, and he is hiding. I'm trying to figure out whereabouts. Is that on the inside of the fountain? No, okay. So what he's done is he's gotten to the fountain. You approach it from just off the right of the screen there, and he's gone right. He's just in the flower bed. Here's Jean Breitenbach. Nicely done. To be fair, Matt, I'm the same. I don't know how people even drive these cars. I've tried pushing a GT3 car in anger. Not easy at all. Not simple. Tim, I did see that there was a new airport for Tower Simulator 3. There will be a video on it on Monday. I recorded it yesterday, edited it today. That'll be out. Trust me, it's a short video, as you can imagine. Luke Lucchese is actually starting another qualifying lap here, so we'll ride on board with him. It's only him and John Breitenbach out there on circuit now, although, nope, that's a lie, because Eric Vellet has just appeared out on the circuit. It's incredibly close at the top end of the order, though. Less than a second separating, goodness me, like the top 20, 30 cars. It's crazy. Crazy close. Eric Vellet setting himself up here for a lap. Booting it down the start-finish straight. My next Tower Sim stream, Tim, is actually tomorrow night. We're doing Heathrow. And I'm going to pull my hair out as per the title of the video. Okay, let's go back on board with Luke Lucchese. See what he's got to offer in this final sector of the lap. He's got a green sector 3, so he's improved there. Is it enough, though, based on not improving in the first 2 sectors? Can he have a good enough final sector to get this right and put himself on pole? No Mr. May, unfortunately, Mr. Hoyland. He isn't very well at the moment, so Ed is not commentating with me this evening. It's just me for tonight. Across the line goes Luke Lucchese. No improvement. No improvement by Luke. And we skip to John Breitenbach, who will, I think, maybe sit out the last minutes of qualifying. I think he's just going to sit there. Luke King is getting going. I think Luke's got another lap in the bank here, actually. He could do another one. It's a weirdly long pit lane here at Long Beach. You can get going there at those green cones. But you have to wait all the way until that blue line before you commit to the circuit. That's going to be important tonight for people leaving the pits. Actually, no, apologies. With it being 2 half-hour sprints, we're not going to be pitting, are we? You can just get an idea, though, of how claustrophobic this circuit is, can't you? There is no room for error absolutely anywhere at all around this place. Great to ride on board with Luke King, though. Car 199, one of the fastest drivers in the series, despite his 20th position in class at the moment in qualifying. Luke and his Alpha 1 esports teammates have been staples of the Evolution Sim Racing GT3 Championship for many seasons now. Remember, it was him and Ryan Ottens that were some of the only guys that could take the fight to the RDSA guys a few seasons ago. Just mesmerised watching him guide his way around here. It's like an American Monaco, isn't it, Long Beach? I'm with you, Andrew. Andrew there in chat just saying that the tyres might not be up to temperature. That may very well not be the case for Luke King. It does take about 2 laps or so around a place like this to get the tyres right up to temperature in the GT3s. They might be coming into a window by the end of this lap, but I'm not sure. It's quite a short lap actually in terms of time, 1 minute 18. It's the same length as a small Grand Prix circuit in Formula 1. Just so close to all the walls, absolutely everywhere, isn't he? Wondering whether it'll be much of an improvement, though. He's not improved in the first 2 sectors, but it does say he's on for a 4-minute lap time, so I'm not quite sure where that started counting from. Fraser confirming that he clipped the wall. Unlucky, mate. Easily done round here. That's the thing. We always do get slightly mixed qualifying sessions around here, as no into the pits goes Luke King. It's good to practice the pit entrance here, though, because this place, well, it's not easy to get into, as you just saw there, everybody. We go back to Jean Breitenbach, who is still hidden in the grass, and he is, well, just enjoying the flower bed and enjoying the fountain, it seems, before the racing gets underway. Just 10 seconds left on the clock, and the session will take over in just a mo, but it's going to be Kevin Poon on pole position with Luke Lucchese alongside him. Tristan Dinabrega will be next up, and then Paul Cowlishaw. Qualifying has just finished now. You'll see the session and everything change. You'll see the crowds flit in and out, or hopefully it will anyway. And now the drivers will line up on the grid for the first race of the evening here at Long Beach. Let's have a look then. It's Kevin Poon on pole position, Luke Lucchese alongside him, barely a tenth of a second covering the two of them. Tristan Dinabrega and Paul Cowlishaw lining up on the second row, both in the NSX. Then it's Luke van Gortel in the Porsche with Thomas Pugh alongside him in the Lamborghini. Good to have Thomas back with us tonight. Daniel Lee is alongside Fraser Smith. That's Mustang and Porsche. And then another Mustang and Porsche row behind that. Andrew Fairley and Laurens de Dapper, the highest placed driver in the wonderful, wonderful LS Racing machine. We then have Jean Breitenbach in 11th place alongside Kevin Daniels. Yanis Albert down in 13th alongside Ryan Ottens. Chris Versteinen and Raz Harper on row 8. Then it's Will Soper. Then Chris Jennings, second in class, but 8 places behind his rival Laurens de Dapper. Matteo Carbonari will start from 19th on the grid ahead of Gilles Philipparts. Then it's Jack Wyborn alongside Kaz Brinkhausen. Kaz and Luke, especially Luke King there, will have hoped for better qualifying than that. Alex Fretwell next up in 24th. But look at the gaps here. There's only a second, just over a second, separating the top 27 cars. Jason Hodgson and Bobby Trundley line up on row 13. Dean Powell is alongside Matt Hoyland. Stephen Donnelly and Tom Weston are on row 15. Then it's Nick Stubb and Eric Verlet. Ashley Brooks is 33rd with Matthew Croft, the newcomer, alongside him. We'll get a bit more of a look at Matthew on this formation lap. Then we have Malcolm Coates alongside Laurens van der Water, Victor van Zeist and Liam Kelso. Then Glenn Andre Christensen and Henning Hauger are the back two starters here for Chapter X. Interesting to see them so far down this time. I don't see... Was Martin Kenyon on the list there? He wasn't, was he? No, there's no Martin Kenyon for this race by the look of it. So, let's have a look at the newcomer, shall we? Where is Matthew Croft? Here be Matthew Croft. We haven't had a look at his livery yet. It's a nice carbon sort of semi-matte black finish by the look of it. We'll hopefully get a better look as he comes towards us here. But you can see the grid now peeling away. They start sort of part way around the lap. Good to see another McLaren on the grid as well, it must be said. Matthew Croft, one of only 2 McLarens in the field, the other one driven by Alex Fretwell. Let's get our eyes on this livery. Oh, that is tasty. That is very, very tasty. He's listed in the championship as a privateer, so I can't comment on where that has come from, but it looks like it says Tachyon Simsport. There's nothing tacky about it. Now, this is where they've been told to get into single file, so everybody should line up down here in single file formation. Lovely stuff. They're all playing by the rules, that's what we like. Although Liam Kelso has just jumped to the pits. Not quite sure why he's done that. Glenn Andre Christensen also is not on the circuit yet. Here is Daniel Lee in the thick of it with Fraser Smith just behind him. There's a little bit of a check up there. They need to be careful of that. But out of the final corner, Kevin Poon is making sure that he lets them all line up behind him. Some of them are trying to get the run on everybody out of the final corner. That's not the right thing to do, but we're underway then for the first race of the night here in the Evolution Sim Racing GT3 Championship. Everybody else further back has got a really, really tidy start. It's the best way of doing it around here, keeping it nice and tidy, filtering the field through. But Kevin Poon leads the way. Look at that, straight away Fraser Smith goes on the attack, round the outside of Danny Lee. Championship leader needs to be careful here though, not to make any mistakes, not to cause any issues. And there's contact on the way into the fountain. Still side by side as they make their way out of said fountain. He's still down the inside of Danny Lee. This is feisty stuff from the pair of them. Danny has to get on the brakes now. Andrew Fairley's going to come down the inside of the two of them. Oh, he's going to make it through there. That was, well, I think Danny will see that as unnecessary from Fraser, but Fraser knows that with Kevin Poon in the lead of this race, he needs to push on for the championship straight off the bat. That camera was mighty loud, wasn't it? I need to sort that out. Daniel Lee, though, having to defend straight off the bat here as he comes out of turn 9 and down towards the final sector of the lap. He's keeping his wits about him. Sounds great, doesn't it, this Mustang? Lovely sounding race car. You've got Jean Brayton back in there as well. Yanis Albert has gained just one place so far in this race, but at the front it's Kevin Poon leading Luke Lucchese and Tristan Dinabrega, the two teammates for RDSA. No, in the background, that is Danny Lee around. Danny Lee backwards, missing the rear wing of his car. And that, I believe, in there with him was Andrew Fairley. Let's have a look at this, see what happens. Does Andrew clip him on the exit or something, or does he just lose it on his own? Oh, he was going in the wall and then he had to get out of it, and then Andrew just pushes. And Chris Versteinen is off as well up there. There's a car spinning its inside wheel. Just keep an eye out for Chris Versteinen. Here he is, side by side with Raz Harper. Raz and Chris both around. Wow. Right together. Oh, there's a tiny touch on the way in, and that just unsettles both cars. And into the barrier they go, and Chris tries to reverse out of the way. There's Danny going off in the background. Wow. Busy, busy stuff. Yanis Albert then has John Brayton back just in front of him. Andrew Fairley just behind him now. But the closest battle on track is Matteo Carbonari side by side with the Porsche of Chris Jennings. Chris is second in class at this present moment. He's got Raz Harper on the attack as well. Raz is not backwards in going forwards. And even after that damage and the little touch that he had earlier, he'll want to gain as many places as possible. Look how cool it is seeing the cars filter through the hairpin like this. Is big check up there. Dean Powell into the back of the car in front. Tom Weston hit the back of the car in front of him. Whoa, not quite sure why Tom had to cut so far across the hairpin there. That was a bit more dangerous. It all checked up in that final corner there. Matthew Croft has had an issue down at the fountain. Oh, he's going to loop it against, oh no, he's going to hit the, oh wow, okay, that is a big moment in front of the pack. He moves across the road very quickly. Oh, fair play, fair play. Kevin Poon then still leads the way. Luke Lucchese second, Tristan Dinabrega third. Fraser Smith is on the back of Thomas Pugh in the Lamborghini. He's trying to make forward progress now. Chris Versteinen has come into the pit lane, unfortunately. The damage too much to continue on with. You get even more of an idea of how twisty a nature this circuit is when you're on board with one car following another. Thomas Pugh trying to do everything he can with that Lamborghini. You will see puffs of smoke out of the right rear from some of the cars as they come out of that final corner. With so much lock on and trying to get all the power down, you will see them spin up that rear tyre and just skim the surface with it. Paul Cowlishaw's going well there in the NSX. Fourth position for him at the moment. Tristan Dinabrega is the next car ahead in terms of position, but that car right in front is the Mustang of Chris Versteinen, 39th place. So for that lap traffic, well, Luke Van Gortel, I know, is going to be hopeful that he can get past if Paul Cowlishaw gets held up at all. You just have to have eyes everywhere on a circuit like this because you have to keep an eye. Whoa! Versteinen slams on the brakes and gets out of the way, but fair play to him. He does it in a more sort of easy to understand, a predictable position. That's the best way to do it. But when you're chasing in a position like Luke Van Gortel was then, you have to look 2 cars ahead. You have to really think about it. You could see a look from Luke Van Gortel and from Fraser Smith then at the back of the Lamborghini over the curbs. just a case of waiting for a mistake from any rivals around a place like this, isn't it? Lovely shot there around the hairpin, as you can see just how tight these corners are. How bumpy the start-finish straight is as well as we head down the curve. The palm trees and everything sort of surrounding the circuit, all the buildings and everything. It's just epic, isn't it? What a place to go racing Long Beach is. It's like an American paradise, isn't it, this racing circuit? Eric Villet has had an issue, I'm afraid. Seems like it's not the place for the Mustangs, is Long Beach. This is Matteo Carbonari. Raz Harper just behind in the Lamborghini will be making some good noises as well. Will Soper is the Porsche just ahead of those two. Fraser Smith's teammate. Good to have Will back with us. We interviewed Will at the start of the season. Lovely guy to speak to. Great character. In the pro class at the moment, Lawrence de Dapper is certainly the one to beat. He's definitely the one to catch, but there's flipping heck a good 9 cars between himself and his nearest pro class rival. He's having a breeze of it at the moment with this pace. Chris Jennings is all the way down here. He's actually got company as well. Jack Wyborn right behind him. This is for position. Jack in the MRC 495 Porsche. Chasing another Porsche. Good to see the Corvette in the field as well. Ryan Ottens and Gilles Philipparts and Malcolm Coates driving the Corvette. We're not seeing any footage of them tonight, I don't think. Here's Ryan Ottens. He appeared in the pit lane earlier, but that's about all we saw of him. We've then got Gilles Philipparts in the DDK by Eagle Speed Academy Esports machine. And then Malcolm Coates in the black and red Rage Against the Game esports car. Stephen Donnelly just comes into the pits. I think that's down to the damage on his machine. Cool livery on the Rage Against the Game team. Got a few American drivers in the field, having one of their many home races tonight. There's a lot of American rounds of the championship. Jason Hodgson is the highest placed driver from the United States. Malcolm Coates is 9th in class, 28th overall. Danny Lee is still going, albeit in low downforce spec. Without that rear wing, he's chasing down Glenn Andre Christensen. You can hear the scrapes and bumps of the cars just about tapping the wall on the outside of a lot of these corners. You will hear the noise, but a lot of the time they won't have actually hit the wall. It's just a little bit of what we call net code. As that was Matteo Carbonari having a look down the inside of the Porsche. He's certainly one to attack, is Matteo. He doesn't like to hold back. This Mercedes is a hell of a brutal attacking machine. Listen to it. Makes such a good noise. It looks great too, especially in that livery. It was a shame not to see more Mercedes throughout this season. Incredibly as well, this will mark the end of the first half of the season as well after tonight's racing at Long Beach. We've got Sebring, then Circuit of the Americas, so we're going to have had 5 American rounds in a row. Then we go to Imola, Mugello, and then Bathurst after that. Bathurst for the season finale is a very brave shout from the organisers, but it's going to be an entertaining one, I can tell you that for free. Don't forget as well, this isn't the only broadcast of the Evolution Sim Racing GT3 Championship going on tonight. There is also the B split, covered by my good friends Joe Glass and Dara Thacker. Those two are over on the Evolution Sim Racing YouTube channel. You can keep up with them and their antics over on there. Oh, Jack Wyborn clips the wall. That negates his run out of the corner, and that's going to upset him because Kaz Brinkhausen in the Mustang is going to go by on the right-hand side and gain the place. And that means now that Jack has got an elite class car between himself and Chris Jennings in the Axis Sim Sports Porsche. He's not going to be over the moon with that one. There's a big check up behind as well. Oh, that was Fretwell getting hit by Jason Hodgson, I think. Yeah, Fretwell just getting a bump in the rear there. Jason Hodgson and Bobby Trundley, the next 2 cars behind. Quartermass Motorsport leading the teams championship as well. They've got 2 cars in this split, 2 cars in the B split as well. And the organisers have put a lot of hard work in to make sure that the championship for the teams is spread across both splits as well, so you can score points in either race. Oh, mind that wall, Bobby. Chris Versteinen has apparently had a drama that has ended his race. Oh, he's just moved out of the way, actually. I think he's decided that he didn't want to get in anybody's way anymore. We've had a move for Thomas Pugh and Fraser Smith. Fraser throws it up the inside. Oh, I was going to say it's going to have to be a Fraser-esque move. A very, very brave and forceful one. Just holding my breath here to see what happens. Fraser down the inside. Thomas Pugh will then have the inside for the next two, but he's backed out of it. Given space to Fraser. Fraser on the inside into the hairpin. Fair play. Yeah, I know Fraser's style has ruffled a few feathers in the past, so it's always interesting to watch him. But he's certainly cleaned up his act from when I commentated on him last a few years ago, I can tell you that for free. He's always an entertaining driver to watch as a result. Top three, only separated by, well, less than 2 seconds at the moment. It's Kevin Poon, Luke Lucchese and Tristan Dinnebrega. Luke Lucchese in the Porsche. Back to the ways that we were used to seeing a few seasons ago, where it's constantly inside the podium positions. Just got to hold on to this and then, of course, try and repeat it in the next race. Bobby Trundley has come to a stop. He's in there somewhere. I think he's going to have clipped the curb on the inside here. I'm not a betting man, but I'd put money on this. You ready? This little curb on the right. Oh, it's already gone. Whoa, nightmare fuel. Oh, it's not the most savoury rejoin in the world, but he sorts it out. John Breitenbach, after hiding earlier, has got Yannis Albert hiding behind him at this present moment. He's hoping to use the Porsche to open the door that's Laurens de Dapper, and just to be fair to him, Laurens is just on a mission at the moment. He's the lead car in his class. He's got 11.3 seconds over Jennings. The only thing at this point it looks like that can stop him is him. We know that the LS racing cars are far from subtle. It's a particularly loud camera, that, isn't it? Compared to all the others on the circuit. It's definitely one that I messed with, I'm sure. Will Soper, side by side with Matteo Carbonari. Still side by side. Comes over to the left a little bit more than Matteo would have wanted him to. Matteo around the outside of the Mercedes. Decisive stuff. Good run. Now what about Raz Harper? Can he get the move done on Will Soper? Side by side? No, not quite got the overlap. He's just got his nose there. He's going to put it up the inside in the Lambo. Will Soper says, yeah, go on then. Not sure if Raz will get a slowdown penalty for that, you know. He was very deep over that right-hand curb. Be interested to see if Raz slows down all over the next half a lap. He had a great run through that hairpin, but messed it up a little bit on the exit. Doesn't seem to be slowing down for anything right now, so fair play to him. Luke Lucchese has had an issue, though. He's just lost a bit of ground and is still losing ground to Tristan Dinnebrega. What has gone on here? What is that all about? Bobby Trundley has just disappeared off screens. Now this was just after it. So Luke Lucchese, let's just go on board with him. Wonder if he's had a slowdown penalty or something. Because he's flat out. So fast around there, isn't it? Look at that. The speed sensitivity on a circuit like this is incredible. Does he go over the blue line a bit too much? Yeah, what's happened there? He's short shifting as well. Oh, and then he's gone a little bit too hot into the right-hander. I wonder. Very strange. He's not really got away from his teammate either, to be honest. Bobby Trundley had an issue and then jumped to the pits. He's been overtaken by a few drivers. Oh, that's too hot. Clips the wall. And ouch. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What was that about? I sincerely hope for Bobby's sake he did not keep it pinned out of frustration there, because that will go down very badly. No, I don't think he could have done anything about that. We've seen drivers do it before is all. Not in this series, but elsewhere I've seen drivers get frustrated, keep it absolutely pinned, and then bounce off a wall and take out somebody else. Completely unintentionally, but it's just irresponsible behaviour on a circuit when there's others racing with you. We ride on board with championship leader Fraser Smith. He's moved up from 8th on the grid to 6th position. He's having a solid run of things at the moment. Don't forget, with how things are, he will start on pole position ahead of these guys for race number 2. Oh, sorry, he won't start on pole position, I do apologise. But he'll start ahead of these guys anyway for race number 2. It's going to be the top 18 that are reversed, and it doesn't matter what class they're in, whether they get reversed or not. Fraser sends it down the inside into turn 1 on Paul Cowlishaw. Paul says, nah, I'm alright. I don't want any of that. Lovely move that by Fraser. Very, very well choreographed. Good on the brakes. Through he goes. Does mean that if Chris Jennings holds on to this position, he will get reverse grid pole. Now, it'd be great for Chaz Draycott because Chaz is usually a little bit higher up the order than this. He will definitely want pole position for race 2. He could very easily win it from there, to be honest with you. I say very easily. There's a high chance that Chaz, if he starts on pole in race 2, could win the race. He's definitely got the front-running pace to do so, the Belgian driver. Sorry, Dutch driver, I apologise. I know that Viraco is a mainly Dutch and German team. Get it out, Chaz. Dutch and Belgian team. He used to race a lot in the old Sim Racers World Leagues. He used to have some incredible liveries. I mean, they still do. I still like this current livery, but not as much as the old one, I must be said, boys. Side by side here with Ryan Ottens, and down the inside, Yannis Albert. He's trying to get one on Jean Breitenbach as well at the same time. Matthew Croft is in there, but he's wanting to stay well out of all of that. Let's go on board with Ryan Ottens, shall we? In the touring car sounding Corvette. Basically the American Ferrari. Is Yannis going to go for it down the inside? No. He's got effectively Jean Breitenbach's art car in front of him. Very acquainted with the fountain. It's lovely riding on board at this place though, isn't it? It's so colourful. So frantic. Oh, Yannis moving around quite a bit there, just behind the Porsche. I think Danny Lee has just had an issue of sorts. Look at this, it's the low downforce Mustang demonstration team. Eric Verlet and Danny Lee fighting for actual position here. Don't worry about the timing start changing at the top. That was just down to being at the other end of the circuit. We don't have all the cars rendered at all times just because of the sheer demand that the GT3 cars have on a system. This is Luke Lucchese in second, Tristan Dinnebrager in third. But right at the moment, well, it's Kevin Poon leading the way. 11 and a quarter minutes left to go. It's been quite a stable race, this one so far. No major dramas anyway. I say that as Will Soper comes to a stop. He's had an issue out of the final hairpin. Comes back across. Now Chris Jennings is going to want to get past Will. But if Will falls into 18th place behind Chris, that will give him pole position for race 2. Now does he want that? Does he not? He doesn't lose any championship points by dropping behind Chris because you're scored on your class position as opposed to your overall position. So he won't lose anything, but he needs to be careful of that guy there. Kaz Brinkhausen. Even behind him as well, Jack Wyborn is waiting in the wings for a spare position if there's any going. Hope you're all enjoying the show so far here tonight on Chaz Draycott Media. Thank you very much for joining me. Unfortunately, no Ed May in the box with me this evening. Ed's not been very well today, so he's got the night off. But we have the Evolution Sim Racing GT3 Championship here at Long Beach for 2 half-hour races. It's been good stuff so far. Thanks once again to GP2 Group, Kame and Keenan Eco Energy, the championship sponsors. Wouldn't happen without you, and we appreciate the support here at Chaz Draycott Media as well. That was a little clip of the wall there by Ryan Ottens out of the final corner. He won't be over the moon with that. It's lost him a lot of time, look, to Yannis Albert ahead, although that gap that you see there is only 0.6 of a second, so it's not all the time in the world. And he will gain that back as well, because Yanis will have to compensate for the fact that he's got Jean Breitenbach right in front of him, and he won't want to follow too closely around a street circuit like this. Over the curb he goes. He can cut that curb quite a lot. Oh, Yanis very close to the wall there. Is in the background there. That's Matthew Croft just moving out of the way of Andrew Fairley. Kevin Daniels there with him. Not seen much of Kevin in this race so far. Carbonari flashing the lights just to let Matthew Croft know that he's on his way. Lovely to see the Mustang of Andrew Fairley out there on circuit. The ADX cars are very, very pretty. Some of the prettiest cars in the field, that is for sure. Some great noises from these GT3 cars, isn't there? This is Gilles Philipparts, and just behind him is a Will Soper. Pardon me indeed, in the Conehead Racing Porsche. Very close to the back of the Corvette there. It may be quite a pretty car, the Corvette, but you don't want to get that close to it, Will. Into the hairpin they go. Keeping it nice and tidy, keeping it nice and tame. We'll go on board with Jack Wyborn. I just cut it at the wrong point. We'll go on board with Jack Wyborn. He's got a front row seat to all of this. You can hear him short shifting a little bit there. He doesn't want to get too close to the back of these guys, because at the end of the day, all you do is close yourself into a corner. Down the gears he goes. Through the left, careful on the right, because it's quite polyagonal, that right-hand fence. And again through the very, very easy to misjudge fountain. That right-hand curb is quite steep as well. Outside wall on the left curves towards you, and again over here. You've got to love the frame rate as you go around that right-hander. As is Long Beach with all the objects and everything loading in. It's quite an intensive racing circuit, but it looks great at the moment, doesn't it? I do love these onboard cameras on iRacing. I think they do look pretty spectacular sometimes, all the reflections and the light and everything. It does look very, very good. Luke King is behind these guys. He's gained 2 places from where he started. Same with Alex Fretwell's McLaren. Same with Jason Hodgson. Tom Weston has gained 6 places. Nick Stubb has also done that. Ashley Brooks has gained 7. A lot of these guys benefiting from the misfortunes of others further down. Glenn Andre Christensen has gained 9 places. He's the biggest mover in the field by the look of it. Glenn Andre is in the Ferrari, one of the only, I think the only Ferrari 296 in the field. It's a shame really that, to be honest, because a Ferrari can be a very, very good race car. Just it's a little bit hard to predict sometimes. It's a little bit lively. So too is Luke Lucchese, although in this race it's been a little bit under the radar, to be honest. He's got his teammate Tristan Dinabrega still keeping him company because, well, race leader Kevin Poon has absolutely checked out. Look at Fraser Smith in the background there, though. He's overtaken Paul Cowlishaw, and he has gone flying up to the back of Luke Van Gortel. He was 0.3 of a second quicker than him on that previous lap. He did a personal best in the final sector. Fraser is the championship leader here at the moment, and he's showing us exactly why in every single race. He didn't nail qualifying, it didn't go to plan, but he's absolutely flying in this race. 6 minutes left to go before the flag falls. Ashley Brooks has had the flag fall early, unfortunately. Is he just going to overdo it over this curb? It's already gone. He gets on the brakes, moves out of the way. Nice stuff from Ash. Nicely done. Oh no! Oh, I fell for my own trick there. Sometimes when we look further down the order, it de-renders certain cars. It's said that Fraser had passed Luke Van Gortel for P4 for a second. I think Luke might just blink in and out here because of when we went to the replay with Ashley. Yeah, that's all it is. Apologies. Fell for my own issue there. Yanis Albert is not going to be enjoying the position he's in right now, is he? Because he's got a Porsche right in front of him and a Corvette right behind him. He's got nowhere to turn, really, nowhere to run in his present state. With just 5 minutes left on the clock, he'll want to get ahead of Jean Breitenbach. But at the same time, he'll be grateful to start ahead of him with the reverse grid. Looking at the battle for 18th position. Goodness, why is it so loud? Chris Jennings is still sat in 18th place. Kaz Brinkhausen is not too far behind in 19th. Then it's Jack Wyborn. But it looks like, to me, Chris Jennings is not able to get quite with Will Soper or Gilles Philipparts. He's going to hope that these guys can fight. Maybe not too much though, because that 18th place is looking quite cosy for Chris. Second place in class, so loads of points. And then he'll start way ahead of anyone else in class because he'll have a good 9 cars between himself and Laurens de Dapper. The other Laurens, Van der Water, is here with Van Zeist. Sorry, it's Van der Water. So I've heard Daniel Lee has crashed again. He's not having a good night of it, is Danny? He's really not having a good night, is he? He's going to hope that it improves for the final few races of the season. I think Fraser might be carrying a little bit of damage here because it looks like the left-hand side of that car has been pounded in on that left rear corner. I wonder whether he's just got a little bit too friendly with some of the walls. Look at the gap, though, back to the other guys. He was actually slower than Luke Van Gortel on that previous lap by 0.2 of a second. He was slower than all of the leaders. Purple Sector 2 for Kevin Poon. He's absolutely on a mission. Ryan Ottens has just got ahead of Yannis Albert. Yannis goes back at him across all of the curbs in the world as doesn't leave a massive amount of room. Ryan Ottens doesn't leave him a massive amount of room to go into either. They're trying to really squeeze each other. I'm unsure whether Yannis will get a slowdown penalty for that, but either way, this man at the front, Kevin Poon, wow, on an absolute mission. Let's just go on board with our race leader for half a lap or so, just see how easy he's making this look right now. The Dutch driver for Viraco Esports Team Orange, bringing them a lot of points tonight, and bringing himself a lot of points as well. He needs this in the championship hunt with Fraser Smith in the picture. For finishing in first place, you get 50 points. Fraser will get 30 if he finishes... Actually, no, sorry, he'll get 33 for finishing in 5th. So 17 points Kevin will gain over Fraser. And that'll take out a big chunk of the championship lead. Well, Fraser is doing an incredible job in the championship, it must be said. There was a little bit of shenanigans there. One of the Mustangs getting caught up in that, I think. Is that Eric Verlet? Yes, it is. Stephen Donnelly in there as well. Christopher Steinen is the other car. There's another car in the mix there as well. That's Danny Lee, just ahead of all of this. It's just like the Mustang Association at the moment. They're all deciding whether it's better to run with a wing or not. Clearly, Eric Verlet's car not behaving itself to its best ability, but Kevin Poon, a stablemate, his car is. He'll have another lap after this. That was a lot of curb though, Kevin. Interesting. Let's have a look at Fraser again. Like I say, Fraser's very often the most exciting driver on the circuit. Not always to his own benefit, but he's very often the most exciting one. As Eric Verlet, that was the noise you could hear. Eric Verlet getting going. Hopefully he doesn't get in the way of the leaders. I say the leaders, you know, the guys that are in 4th and 5th at the moment. He's tried to hit the brakes and get out of the way. That's going to hand it to Fraser. Surely. No, Fraser got out of shape. Oh, Eric's not made this easy. He could have hit the brakes there, could Eric? And he's left that way too late, in my opinion. Hit the brakes at the wrong point to begin with on the way into the corner. Or at the corner. And then he left it way too late to hit it later on down the straight as Fraser sends it up the inside. Oh, goodness me. Sends it up the inside. Gives Luke Van Gortel just enough room to get going on the exit. And now Luke's round his outside. Needs to not squeeze him to the wall, though, because that's just going to spell disaster for the pair of them. Oh, this is close stuff. Don't move right. Don't move right. You don't need to do it. And down the inside, Luke Van Gortel's got this one, surely. Defends it for now. Wow. On to the final lap we go then. It's Kevin Poon, Luke Lucchese, Tristan Dinnebrager, and then this pair. Luke Van Gortel and Fraser Smith right together, fighting for 4th position on the final lap of the race. Fraser wants as many championship points as he can get, and he will not slow down at anything to get them. Oh, clips the wall a little bit there. That's not going to go down well. Luke Van Gortel just needs to hold on. There's not many corners around this place. There's only about 12. Just needs to make sure that he gets a good run out of here onto the back straight. Don't push it in too hard. That looks good. Looks like a good run for him there. Fraser is right up behind him, but now look, he's not got enough there. Hopefully we don't see a silly move into the hairpin because we've seen them before, but round the final corner, put your hands together in chat, everybody, because Kevin Poon, what a fantastic drive that is by the Dutchman. He's going to take a lights to flag victory here at Long Beach with Luke Lucchese and Tristan Dinabrega behind. And then it is going to be Van Gortel ahead of Fraser Smith. Fair play to him, though. They put on a hell of a show, didn't they? And then look at this for a finish. Laurens de Dapper wins in the pro class by some distance. Great stuff for him. And this is going to be second position for Jack Wyborn. Kaz Brinkhausen and Jack Wyborn got ahead of Chris Jennings on the final few laps. And that means that Kaz Brinkhausen is going to take pole position. So Chris lost it right near the end as everybody comes to a stop. Tristan Dinabrega finished third in that one. He'll be over the moon with that. A podium for him. He's been on the podium now 3 times in the last 4 races. He was second at Virginia, third here in the first race of the night at Long Beach, and at Road America he was on the podium there as well. He was amongst the leaders in the second race at Road America, but not quite in the way he would have wanted, being a lap down on everybody else. But a great first race of the night, that, here at Long Beach in the Evolution Sim Racing GT3 Championship in the A-Split. If you bear with me here on Chaz Draycott Media, I'm just going to have a quick break for a sec, get a drink, and then I'll come back to you and we'll have the race results and we'll get ready for race number 2. See you in a sec.
And look at Jochen Hahn and Antonio Albacete. The two of them go flying through the right-hand side, then the left-hand side. Jochen Hahn around the outside, and Lucas Hahn, no father and son, come together on the exit of turn 1. And the best thing about this is the fact that it's still a 15-minute sprint race. They've not extended the time of the race. It's still just like, it's going to be, what, 7 laps of Spa-African Cup? Yeah. We get to the real nitty-gritty of motorsport.
Cranston and Smith are side by side for the title in the very final race of the season. So as they go back up the hill towards the Schumacher. Nils Core clips the back at 10. Simon Povey clips the side of Nils Core. They go over the hill and Povey's around.
Oh my god, that's going to definitely be the thumbnail, isn't it? Hit me in the right direction.
Thank you so much.
23 cars.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Hello again, everybody. Chaz Draycott here for the Evolution Sim Racing GT3 Championship Season 7 Split A. This is round number 5 of the season. 2 races here tonight at Long Beach, and we've had the first one complete, and it was a absolute belter. Let's have a look then at the results of said race. It was Kevin Poon taking a lights to flag victory, just under 2.5 seconds clear of Luke Lucchese by the end, with Tristan Dinabrega in third, and then Luke Van Gortel in fourth, just ahead of Fraser Smith. But a solid drive from Fraser, that 8th to 5th, not bad at all. Paul Cowlishaw was 6th, Thomas Pugh was 7th, Jean Breitenbach finished 8th ahead of Yannis Albert, and then Ryan Ottens in 10th. Andrew Fairley was 11th ahead of Kevin Daniels, Matteo Carbonari, Raz Harper and Gilles Philipparts, Will Soper, and then Kaz Brinkhausen. Shows you just how well, to be fair, that it was Laurens de Dapper that did well in the Pro class, because there were 17 cars. Chaz Draycott finished 18th outright, so only one Pro car made it into the reverse grid positions, and that was Laurens de Dapper, and he was something like 7th overall. Incredible drive. Luke King finished in 18th place in that one, ahead of Tom Weston, Dean Powell and Daniel Lee, and then Chris Versteinen and Henning Hauger were 3 laps down and 22 laps down respectively. Going to the Pro class, it was Laurens de Dapper winning by over 21 seconds in the end from Jack Wyborn, who took 2nd place right near the end. Chris Jennings will start from 3rd in class. However, he's not going to get that reverse grid pole that we thought he was going to get. Alex Fretwell will start from 4th, with Jason Hodgson 5th. Nick Stubb in 6th. Laurens van der Wouter is 7th. Victor van Zeist 8th. Ashley Brooks and then Matt Hoyland. Behind them, we had Glenn Andre Christensen for Chapter X, Malcolm Coates in 12th, Stephen Donnelly in 13th, he was a lap down, same with Eric Verlet and Matthew Croft on his debut. Bobby Trundley was 16th, he was 11 laps down, and Liam Kelso was 20 laps down after nipping into the pits at the very start. We have cars out on circuit with just this few minute long warm-up session between, for everyone to go and have a wee, have a drink and watch some rubbish adverts like we do here on Chaz Draycott Media. I hope you're all enjoying the show tonight, everybody. Great to see some good numbers with us this evening, 42 of you at the moment. Please do say hello in chat, let us know who you're cheering on. It's obvious who Angelo and Ben Bartley and Grace and some of the others are shouting on. It's great that Fraser has so many fans that come and see him, actually. We often get, 1 or 2 people come in to see a certain driver in a championship like this, and it's great to have that, but yeah, it's lovely to see so many people coming in to support Fraser in this one. He's definitely the most popular driver based on the YouTube chat. But it's great to see Kevin Poon with some good support as well. Kevin is an absolutely demon fast driver, as proven by that first race. But as again, let me just say thank you all for jumping in so far and enjoying the show, or I hope you're enjoying it anyway. Let me know what you think. It's always important to collect feedback here at Chaz Draycott Media. I love my job, and I hope that comes across. Okay, let's see if Chaz Draycott loves his job from the front of the field. Then he's going to start on pole position for the second race of the night here at Long Beach. He's got Will Soper in the Conehead Racing Porsche alongside him. Then it's Gilles Philipparts in the Corvette and Raz Harper in the Lamborghini. We've got 3 DDK cars in the top 6. We then have Matteo Carbonari and Kevin Daniels, Andrew Fairley and Ryan Ottens on row 4. Yannis Albert will start 9th with John Breitenbach alongside him, and then it's Laurens de Dapper in 11th. Thomas Pugh will start from 12th. Paul Cowlishaw is alongside Fraser Smith, and another battle I'm sure will erupt between him and Luke Van Gortel. Tristan de Nebrega is next up after following his teammate Luke Lucchese. Let's see if he returns the favour. Kevin Poon now is in 18th place after taking that win, ahead of Jack Wyborn and Chris Jennings in the horrible positions of just missing out on reverse grid pole. Luke King is 21st ahead of Alex Fretwell, with Jason Hodgson and Tom Weston on row 12. Then we have Nick Stubb and Laurens van der Wouter. Then it's Victor van Zeist and Ashley Brooks. Dean Powell and Matt Hoyland make up the 15th row ahead of Glenn Andre Christensen and Malcolm Coates. Then it's Daniel Lee and Stephen Donnelly, Eric Verlet and Matthew Croft. Behind them is Chris Versteinen with the extra long box for some reason, Bobby Trundley 38th and Liam Kelso 39th. Henning Hauger will, by the look of it, take the start this time. So it's good to see that we've got each of the drivers, all 40 of them, on the grid for this second race of the evening. Here's a view back from Chaz Draycott. All the drivers will now get into single file down this back straight. Hopefully they'll keep a consistent speed, because we saw a little bit of a check-up in the first race at that hairpin. So as long as they keep it nice and tidy, it should be all golden. Here's on board with Tom Weston in the DDK Porsche. You can see there is a bit of a slowdown here as everybody tries to get into single file. Drivers just need to be realistic about it and just, keep it a smooth transition rather than slam on and then, accelerate really aggressively again. Not quite sure that Jason Hodgson... Oh no, Tom was actually supposed to go behind Jason there. I was going to say I didn't think that Jason got the memo for a second. But back to the front of the order, you can see they're already out of the final corner. Andrew Fairley is not single file in the background there. Race number 2 gets underway, and that looked like a bit of a mess back there. Paul Cowlishaw having to slow down before the line because he got a mega run out of the final corner. But we're underway for the second race of the night here at Long Beach And, well, Fraser is instantly on the attack here with Paul Cowlishaw next to him. Is he going to go down the inside of Thomas Pugh as well? That's going to be 2 moves in 1 for championship leader by turn 1. Fair play to Fraser Smith. Hats off. Good start, though, at the front, though. And it's Chaz Draycott, Will Soper and Gilles Philipparts. Then it's Matteo Carbonari, Kevin Daniels. Oh, no, there's been a drama. And Chris Jennings has tipped one of the Porsches into a spin, and there's already a traffic jam further back. Dean Powell trying to get through that as well. More cars have stopped as they all try and recover. Oh, goodness me. What on earth caused all of that? Jason Hodgson was the first one to come to a stop. Let's have a look. So there's dramas ahead. Side by side, that's Fretwell and Jennings. There's... Oh, wow. Hodgson's already been smacked. Tom Weston into the back of him in the 144 Porsche. Tom just didn't slow down at all. Now, the drivers are always warned that, you know, there's going to be checkups on lap 1. You should slow down for it all. Tom's just, to be fair to him, he tried to go down the inside. I think Jason was just distracted by the incident ahead of him and didn't see it coming. Still, end of lap 1, and it's Kaz Brinkhausen leading the way. Will Soper, then Gilles Philipparts, Raz Harper, Matteo Carbonari, Kevin Daniels, Andrew Fairley, Yannis Albert, John Breitenbach, Lorenz de Dapper, and Fraser Smith has gained 3 places so far. How's Kevin Poon getting on? He's got Tristan Dinnebrager in front of him. Where is Luke Lucchese in all this? Luke was one of the cars that got spun, actually. Luke, Jason Hodgson, Nick Stubb and Ryan Ottens all in the pits after that one. Just seen White Van Gaming's shout in the chat. Good shout with Chris Jennings. He's a lovely bloke, is Chris. He's raced in leagues that I've run before. He's been fantastic to have as part of the community. He and his teammate Thomas Pugh been doing wonderful things here in the Evolution Sim Racing GT3 Championship. Good to see Thomas representing the Lamborghini. We've not got many of them on the grid. There's, drama ahead. Car in the wall. I think that was Kevin Daniels. Not Kevin Daniels, sorry, it was Raz Harper. Matteo Carbonari got ahead of the Lamborghini. We had 3 DDK cars together here. Oh, Raz has just gone a little bit deep. Oh, and there's contact with Matteo as well for added salt in the wound. Look at them round that hairpin. Coming to an absolute stop. Great shot of them all filtering their way down the start-finish straight, bobbling this way and that way as the cars go over the lumpy concrete of Long Beach. You've got to love it. Here's Jack Wyborn, second place in class at the moment. He is 5 seconds behind Lorenz de Dapper. De Dapper on for 2 race victories in one night in his class. It should have been much easier for him, though, in this second race. He's only got a few cars between himself and Jack. Jack's gained a couple of places, and also Lorenz has gone slightly backwards in class as well. Chris is pushing, though. You can see the way the car's moving around. He's definitely giving it a shot. This is sideways, side by side between Yannis Albert and Andrew Fairley. Andrew down the inside, actually defending his position there. Yannis tried it on him the corner before that. And Andrew's now trying to defend from the NSX. What's the run like now down towards turn 9? We've got John Breitenbach and then Fraser Smith behind that. You can see Fraser just giving it a bit of a fake look with his pace, though. And I mean, the championship points that he's got, everyone knows he's the championship leader. You know, he can have a little look down the inside like that every so often and fake it and just fill people's mirrors, just annoy them a little bit. Thomas Pugh and Luke Van Gortel have just swapped places into the hairpin. Luke Van Gortel, I think, maybe trying the move that Fraser tried on him earlier on. Thomas Pugh not quite able to... Well, sorry, no. Luke Van Gortel not quite able to get it done. Liam Kelso, his night, his horrendous night, has come to an end. He's damaged the car already. And I think he's going to just pull it over into the service road. Yes, he is. Yannis Albert has just dropped behind Kevin Daniels there. Kevin Daniels and Yannis swapping places a few times. Let's have a look here. The NSX chasing the huge Mustang and then the Porsche. Oh, Daniels batters the wall on the exit of turn 1. And Yannis is going to take advantage of that down the inside. Kevin can't do anything about it, and then he's going to get mugged, is he, by Jean Breitenbach? No, have some of that, he says. Now, Jean's not in a fantastic position here because he's got Fraser Smith right behind him. Fraser's gained another spot. Look at all this going on behind as well. Laurens de Dapper needs to be careful here. He leads the class. That bright, shiny blue Porsche in the middle of all of this is the Pro class leader at the moment. He needs to be careful not to get caught up in everybody else's nonsense. Down the inside goes the Porsche. Look at that for an absolute send by Luke van Gortel. He says, you know what, Fraser Smith did that before. I am going to do it now. Lobs it up the inside of multiple cars. Gets past Tristan de Nobrega. Side by side there between Paul Cowlishaw and race 1 winner Kevin Pun. Matthew Croft is having a bit of a rough debut. He's just had an incident as well. Kevin trying to defend. Paul puts his nose down the inside. Kevin expects him to pull out of that one. Oh, Kevin's clipped the wall with the right rear. Is it damaged? It's the second most important question after will it blend? Oh God, he's clipped the wall now and all. Not sure if the steering's straight for Kevin Pun. Let's see what it's like down here. It seems okay. Short shifts a little bit just to be sure. Mustang Squadron is a go-go back here. Ed May would call this the V8 convention. This is Eric Verlet ahead of Chris Versteinen and Danny Lee. 3 Mustangs all in similar liveries. All chasing one another. Danny Lee hoping to give his viewers something good to watch. He's streaming his efforts this season, is Danny. He's a great streamer and content creator. I'm incredibly jealous of how good his shots are. Even just, you know, he takes shots of a sim racing wheel on a desk and it's prettier than any content I've ever produced. It's ridiculous. We've had, unfortunately, an issue for Andrew Fairley. Luke van Gortel has come to a stop. Now that looks to me like he's been down the inside of somebody and he's paid the price. Oh, there was already a car having a spin there. Van Gortel on the outside. Oh, there's a bit of contact, and there was a bit of netcode involved in that as well, actually. Quite a bit of netcode involved there. Luke van Gortel unfortunately jumping into the pits. Kevin Daniels now has John Brayton back right up behind him. Chaz Draycott still leading this race, by the way. Will Soper in second position. Conehead Racing cars going well tonight. Gilles Philippart's somehow getting a result out of the Corvette. Matteo Carbonari's got Raz Harper behind him as well. Well, that close, he's in him, for lack of a better phrase. Tom Weston has come to a stop. Tom Weston's chaotic race continues. Gets back up to speed again. Where's Fraser in all this? He's got Andrew Fairley fairly close to him in the Mustang. And then Laurens de Dapper still staying out of trouble where he can, holding on to that lead in his class. I said earlier he'd dropped places, but he'd actually started 11th on the grid and he's still there now. His nearest challenger in the class is just coming into shot there with the white, black and green Porsche, Jack Wyborn. You can see the difference on track. There is only 3 seconds between them. We ride on board with Jack Wyborn. And Laurens de Dapper is less than 3.1 seconds ahead right now as the timing updates. Into turn 1, Jack keeping it nice and tidy. Remember, Jack was one of the most unlucky drivers I commentated on when we covered the first season that we did of the Evolution Sim Racing GT3 Championship. Thanks once again to Kamei, GP2 Group and Keenan Eco Energy, the championship's loyal sponsors. Very grateful to have the support of them as well for what we do here at Chaz Draycott Media. Hope you're enjoying the solo broadcast as well tonight, everybody. Not quite sure how many people have it clarified, but I don't just do the talking, I do the cameras as well. I do all of this myself on nights like this. Unfortunately, no Ed May in the box with me this evening, as Ed's not very well, but he should be back for the next round in a week's time as we head to the wonderful Sebring International for a 1-hour race. We should have mixed conditions there as well, a little bit of rain potentially on the horizon. Here's the top 3 very different cars. Chaz Draycott in the Veraco Esports Team Orange Mustang. We then have Will Soper in the very orange Conehead Racing machine, and then Gilles Philippart's the DDK by Eagle Speed Academy Corvette just behind. All of them on for a solid result here. I don't recall any of them having podiums before now. I think Kaz might have had one somewhere again in a race 2 as Laurens de Dapper just had a big connection drop there and has somehow dropped behind Chris Jennings and Jack Wyborn. He just disappeared off my screen for a minute there. What on earth just happened to Laurens de Dapper? He's lost the class lead. Has he had contact at turn 1? Has he hit the fountain? Let's have a look. This is on board with Thomas Pugh. Oh, wow. Is that some sort of hardware issue? He just reappears after that, doesn't he, behind the guys in the background. I wonder whether he had hardware issue and went straight on at turn 1. Because sometimes when a car blinks in and out, as he goes back down the inside of Chris Jennings, when a car blinks in and out like that, it's not always down to just the internet connection. It's a great move, by the way. It's not always down to just internet connection, as Raz Harper comes into the pits. It can sometimes be, if you have a major hardware issue, or whether it's a CPU or GPU or a screen freeze, whatever it may be, because the sim still isn't receiving any information from you, or if anything freezes, you obviously aren't sending anything to the server or to the sim, so you will blink out for a while until it stabilizes and comes back. Everybody's under the impression that it's always internet related when it's like that. Sometimes it can simply be that the hardware is not able to put out as much information as it needs to at that time. Tom Weston has had another blow to his very, very chaotic race. The 68 car is Bobby Trundley behind. Oh, that's the end of that for Tom, unfortunately. That was a big old hit into the barrier. Second bit of contact did not help. Jean Breitenbach is in the least desirable position right now, with Fraser Smith right behind him. Kevin Poon is in 11th. Let's just have a look at the points from this in the Fraser versus Kevin battle. Fraser currently on for 27 points in 7th place. Kevin on for 15. So Kevin, over the course of the night, would have only gained 5 points on Fraser if it finishes as is. That number 92 car is Laurens van der Wouter, and he is not having a good time by the look of it in that Porsche. He's just fallen prey to the Mustang Brigade. Danny Lee, Eric Verlet, and Chris Versteinen all amongst it. Danny wants to put his nose down the inside. Eric is just pretending he's not there, isn't he? A little bit of a touch. Oh, Eric tries to get the power down. It's not the Mustang's forte, is doing that, is it? Here's the second highest placed Mustang in the field, Andrew Fairley. The ADX Racing Machine gliding along the wall. He's got Kevin Daniels, Tristan Dinnebrager and Kevin Poen behind him. Kevin taking a lot of curb on the right-hand side of the circuit there. Doing everything he can to just stick with Tristan, but Tristan's one of the quickest guys in the series. We've seen that multiple times before, so it's not going to be easy if he gets past him. It's going to be based on a mistake from somebody else or something in front. If Kevin Daniels has a moment and slows down, that's what he's got to wait for here. I'm intrigued by this battle for the lead though, Will Soper chasing down Kaz Brinkhausen for the race lead. Will is not disappearing backwards here. He's doing a great job at staying with Kaz. He's pushing on. Great race by both of them so far. Very tidy, and same by Gilles Philipparts as well. The top three are all where they started in this race. They're just not pushing too hard by the look of it. They're just getting the car around safely. They know it's a half-hour race. It's not a short race, but it's still quite a lengthy race to have. Gilles Philipparts as well doing a great job in this Corvette. Corvette known for being quite a twitchy car, quite unpredictable sometimes. You can see he's got a handle on it, hasn't he? Gliding it sideways over those curbs. Don't know what it is about the Corvette. It just doesn't seem to me like the most convincing GT3 car. Seems like it's, I don't know, it just looks like a remote control car to me. But yeah, Angelo making a great point. Kaz doing a wonderful job, considering how badly the Mustang is doing this evening. No offence to him. We've not seen anything of Matt Hoyland, really. We've got Dean Powell, Matt Hoyland, Chris Verstein and Eric Verlet and Daniel Lee. They're all outside, just in the outer fringes and outside the top 20. Andrew Fairley doing well in 8th place overall. 8th place in class as well, as in the background there. That's Paul Cowlishaw making a move on Thomas Pugh. That's a lovely move. Round the outside, then the inside. Bit of a check up in front there. They've got to all be very careful. Kevin Poen trying to move on Tristan Dinnebrager. Is this the move? Tristan makes sure that he covers off that inside line. That doesn't work for him as he's moved over. I don't know why they do it. A little bit of miscommunication there between the two. Tristan says not in your life, and Kevin's going to hit the wall. Wow, that's feisty stuff. Oh, dearie me, that's very feisty stuff. Kevin went all the way to the left. Tristan said, no, I'm going all the way to the left. Kevin went to the right, and then Tristan seemingly came back. Not quite sure what's going on. Still, great battle all the same. Two of the fastest guys that we've seen in the Evolution Sim Racing community. Fraser Smith, it seems, has got ahead of Jean Breitenbach. We'll have to have a look at that in just a second. Just want to see how these guys get out of this right-hander onto the back straight. Oh, it looks like Kevin's just overdone it there and lost a bit of ground. Let's have a look at Fraser Smith getting past John Breitenbach. Is he going to send it down the inside here? It's not a conventional move, but that's Fraser Smith for you. Down the inside. Not everyone would agree with that bit. No need to go that far over to the right-hand side. If you got that line, you'd go all the way to the left as you'd be expected to do so. It's the same again here. I mean, Tristan's not leaving all the room in the world on the right-hand side. I've got my stewarding hat on here. Sometimes you don't have to squeeze people to the edge of the circuit. You don't gain any benefit from doing so. Look at that. These two very tidily side by side into the fountain. I mean, I don't know where Tristan wants him to go. Not enough room left there on the inside, in my opinion. Kevin Prone did very well to keep that car on the straight and narrow and gain that place. Now Paul Cowlishaw is on the back of Tristan Dinnebrager. It's NSX versus NSX. Wow, that was rough stuff, but fair play, they continue on. Matteo Carbonari now under pressure from Yanis Albert in the NSX. It's a very pretty NSX, is the RDSA car. They head down towards turn 9. Still 13 minutes left to go here in the second race in round 5 of the Evolution Sim Racing GT3 Championship. Thanks again, everybody, for watching so far. Thank you to everyone for the support for this great series. And thanks also to the admins for having us on here once again at Chaz Draycott Media. Hope you're all enjoying the show, everyone. Kaz Brinkhausen doing a wonderful job in this Mustang. Has to be said that all the guys in this top 5 are doing epic performances so far. Really tidy stuff. Look how small the wheels are on the Mustang compared to the rest of it. Look at Will Soper though, he's absolutely on it here. Now the Mustang, I've been told before in other GT3 leagues, does kill its tyres over the course of a half-hour race, and especially the rears, which is obviously what it mainly needs to get the traction down out of the corners. So it may be the case that Kaz Brinkhausen's tyres will start to go off and he won't be able to get the power down in the same way. Obviously, if they're losing grip and they're a little bit more slippy on the rear, then that's just going to escalate. There's going to be a huge curve to it, and they're just going to get slippier and slippier. We've got 5 different manufacturers in the top 5 at the moment. It's Ford, Porsche, Chevrolet, Mercedes and Acura. But it's 3 Porsches, Wyborn, Didapa and Jennings, first, second and third in the Pro class. And this is that class lead, by the way. Wyborn, nowhere to go, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide with Laurens Didapa. Laurens had that horrible moment earlier on where the car blinked in and out, and now he's chasing Jack for everything he has got to see whether he can get that lead back. Chris Jennings not too far off the back of the pair of them, though. He's hoping to pick up some of the scraps if there's any issues with these two ahead. He's just got to keep his eye on behind him, though, because Alex Fretwell in that McLaren, well, he is a threat, not a fret at the moment. Certainly able to take positions in an opportunistic manner when needs be, is Alex. Love the metallic effect on this bonnet here as he goes around that corner. That looks lovely, doesn't it? iRacing's spec map work is getting better and better at all times. 3 Porsches for the lead shows you once again this season that the Porsche is the car to be in. Certainly has been in most cases. It's definitely the most user-responsive car, it's for sure. Yeah, it's user-friendly. It looks after you. It lets you get away with quite a lot, does the Porsche. I drove it to help a friend out in setting some benchmark lap times at a circuit. Oh my goodness me. Laurens Didapa doesn't want to gain the place like that. That's good sportsmanship, but it's let Chris Jennings through. There was a little tap there from Laurens on the back of Jack Wyborn. He was just a little bit late on the brakes, just taps him. Luckily Jack doesn't go around, but look, he backs out of it to make sure he doesn't gain the place. That's really, really good sportsmanship, that, from Laurens Didapa. Now he's got the work to do again now to get back past Chris Jennings. All of a sudden we can go on board with Alex Fretwell and watch the entire battle. What great fighting we've had in this pro class here. Still just under 10 minutes left to go here in the second race of the night. I love this McLaren. Such a cool car, the 720S GT3 Evo. It's a shame it's not more widely utilised. But I ran a league recently where we had something called popularity ballast. So at the start of the season, the drivers nominated which cars they wanted to drive. And if one specific manufacturer had a certain number or over a certain number of drivers choosing it, then, oh, hello, Carbonari hit by Albert there. Then, yeah, anybody, I don't know why Yanis is the one flashing his lights. He feels that Carbonari maybe brake checked him, I don't know. But we've got anybody sort of, if, for example, there was 6 Mercedes, then all of those Mercedes get 10 kilograms added as popularity ballast to the car to slow all of them down. Now, it's a rule that needs definite perfection and a lot of cooperation. We had a few moments over the season where people wouldn't turn up for a few rounds and be putting an unnecessary 10 kilos on a car that, you know, we'd only see 2 or 3 of them as, oh, Carbonari was very slow on the apex there. More contact from Yanis Albert. I think we've seen this before from Yanis, though. When he's following, sometimes just doesn't sort of back out or compromise enough for the car in front. Not sure whether Matteo is just catching him out here or going particularly slowly, but maybe a bit of damage on Matteo's car, because he had quite a big hit with another one of the cars before, didn't he? One of the DDK Eagle cars. But yeah, coming back to the popularity ballast, it's been very interesting to see, you know, if there's been a car where people have not been racing for a few weeks and unnecessarily put weight on a car, and there's people been changing to a certain car to affect the weight for others and stuff like that. So it's definitely something that needs perfecting, as there's been a change now. Yanis Albert goes around Matteo Carbonari, and does Fraser Smith want a piece of this as well? Well, he does, but not just yet. He's very much in the mix. Let's have a look at how Yanis Albert did this. It's going one way, then the other. I think Matteo just gets fed up of it, and he's on the brakes. To be fair, he's just on the brakes early, and Yanis goes around the outside. I don't think he particularly let him past. It was just the fact that Yanis has got that much more corner speed than the Mercedes. Love riding on board with this Porsche, though. It makes a great old noise, doesn't it? Fraser doing what he can to gain places as, wow, down the inside, late on the brakes of Matteo Carbonari. Oh, well, to be fair to Matteo, no, I do not agree there, Fraser. This is the thing, in the heat of the moment, the drivers will flash their lights and feel like they were hit out of the way, but I feel that Matteo had to go where he went then to make sure he didn't hit the end of that tyre wall. John Breitenbach might suddenly be in the picture here, but look how much time Matteo Carbonari is losing. Is Fraser going to send it up the inside here? Yes, he is. He's seen that Carbonari is later on the brakes, or slower on the brakes there, and Fraser's through. Matteo tries to cut back. It's not going to work. John Breitenbach now is on the attack of him. So all of a sudden, Fraser's going to have this, or is he? Ooh, Matteo late on the brakes that time to try and get a move, almost in revenge. Now Andrew Fairley's in the picture as well, teammate to Carbonari. John Breitenbach gets into the mix. This is getting spicy. This is getting very, very spicy indeed. As look at that, Kevin Poon down the inside. No, Kevin's around, and so too is Carbonari. Carbonari ends up facing the wrong way. Oh, he tries to get going, and Thomas Pugh, well, he had a 50-50 chance of choosing the right side, and it didn't work for him. How on earth? I think Kevin Poon just didn't expect these guys to slow down that much in front. Carbonari. What on earth happened to that Mercedes? Great effort by all the guys behind to avoid them. Carbonari saw cars going behind him. You can't blame him for pulling forward there. What on earth happened, though? Did he actually hit the back of the car in front? Did he clip the back of Fraser's Porsche? He did. It may have been a bit of netcode, but we've seen that before, where the car hits the back of the car in front, and suddenly the one behind is the one that spins. Nightmare fuel for Carbonari there. Fraser Smith now up into 5th place. Kevin Poon down into 15th, so that's really going to help Fraser in the championship. This is the battle for the class lead in the pro classes. Oh, dearie me, boys, it didn't need to happen. It didn't need to happen. Jack Wyborn probably defending a little bit too aggressively for his own good there. There was no point squeezing all the way to the inside there. He keeps coming over, Dadapa's got to have somewhere to go there. What's the thing, making something for your own back or something? Jack was his own worst enemy there, unfortunately. Now this is Kevin Poon. In front of him is, I believe, Luke Lucchese, is it not? In car 124. Yes, it is. Luke is a lap down on these guys, so he's not making any friends at this point. But right at the front of the field, Chaz Brinkhausen still leads, which is great news for him and the Viraco team. But what's bad news is that Will Soper is right there with him, and we've got the Corvette squadron. Gilles Philippart's behind. Oh, I thought that the other one was for position, but it's Ryan Ottens. He's a lap down, unfortunately. Yanis Albert in 4th. Fraser Smith in 5th place. He'll be over the moon to be that many positions ahead of Kevin Poon. But this, regardless of how this goes, this has been an exemplary drive by Chaz Brinkhausen. I said earlier, didn't I, if he gets pole position, there's a high chance he could win this race, and there still very much is. He's just got to keep it tidy for these last moments. He's got 2 more laps to go, I'd say. It's about 1 minute and 20 seconds per lap. So he's got this one that he's about to start, and then he'll have 1 more. Although, no, that's my maths has been stupid there. It's 2 minutes 40, isn't it? So he's got 3 more laps. Sorry. I'm so sorry, everyone. I was thinking of like 1.5 minutes and 1 minute of 3/4. 1 minute and 3/4, I should say. Anyway, shut up, Chaz. Paul Cowlishaw is currently 10th overall. He's got Tristan Dinabrega just in front of him, then Kevin Daniels in the DDK Eagle Porsche. Kevin's had a bit of a scarring race. He's hit that wall there a few times. He's still cutting it fine now, though. He's definitely not scared of it, that's for sure. What a great race this has been, though. So lively. Here's Chris Versteinen in the Mustang chasing down Ashley Brooks. Danny Lee just in the background there. Chris puts his nose down the inside, but it's not wanted there by Ash. Oh, Ash just clips the wall. Chris has to back out of that. Give Ash a second to breathe. That sounds like Chris is hitting the wall there. He'll probably do it again here. But they're not actually hitting the wall. It's just a bit of netcode as... Oh! Is that me falling for my own mistake? It's not! Chaz Brinkhausen spins! Chaz Brinkhausen from the lead of the race is now facing the wrong direction. He's going back to the service road to try and spin it around. He's got a big old gap in the field. Now is his chance. Just needs to be careful of that Porsche. He's going to bend the wing. Oh, he's taking the wing off it. Chaz Brinkhausen's race falls apart. I really hope we don't see a move here by Will Soper. Oh, no. Oh, that is not what we wanted to see. I don't think Will was going for a move. I think that was just simple miscommunication or just, well, just lack of concentration. Down the inside, if that was a move, then that is very shoddy by Will Soper, but I do not think that was the case. And that is the sorry state of Chaz Brinkhausen's car at this stage of the race. Will Soper leads, but Gilles Philipparts is in second place in the Corvette. He could very well win this race, actually, if any sort of penalty is applied to that Conehead Porsche in the front. Well, that's not an insult, that's the actual name of the team. Now, we can speculate. I don't think it was a move. I really don't. I think he just misjudged it on the brakes. He was just concentrating on something else. He just went way too late on the brakes. I don't think he'd try a move from there. But like I say, if that's the case, if he did, then that is punishable, to say the least. Still, it's not confirmed. We can maybe speak to Will Soper after the race. He won't want to win it like this, I know that much. But I don't particularly think Chaz did anything wrong either. He was just going for the corner as he would have done. He wouldn't have expected a car to appear from there. Anyway, final lap of the race now. We've got Yanis Albert in third position here. He could very well still win this race, you know. He's rapid compared to these guys in front. He was 1.3 seconds quicker on that previous lap than Gilles Philipparts and Will Soper. But on a circuit like this, catching up, yeah, sure. If you're on your own, mint, go for it. Trying to then overtake around a place like this is not easy. Now, Tommy in the chat, yeah, like I say, we can only speculate. I don't think that was a move. I don't think he was trying to move there. Let's not jump to conclusions. But if it was a move, then we know what the consensus is. But Will Soper, the fact of the matter is that he leads this race. He's got Gilles Philipparts and Yannis Albert right behind him with just 2 corners left to go. Gives it a dab of brakes, tidies it into the hairpin, and he's going to boot it out the final corner. And at least on the road in this second race of the night, Will Soper is going to take the checkered flag and win at the wonderful Long Beach. Gilles Philipparts finishes in second, and then third place goes the way of Yannis Albert. Laurens de Dapper, what a great race he's had there. That is 2 wins out of 2 tonight for him. Very well done. Chris Jennings gets his second podium from the night. That is awesome for him as well. Third place goes to Jack Wyborn, so it's the same podium finishes in that second race of the evening. Very well done to the guys. Yannis Albert back on the podium. That's, I think, his 4th podium of the season now. But once again, he didn't end up second or first. Fraser Smith, 4th place after that, extends his championship lead tonight. More cars still crossing the line here. Matteo Carbonari after the big dramas. He's back out there on circuit. Down in 17th place in class, 28th overall. That Mercedes is not behaving itself. I think he's carrying damage, you know, the way that the car has been behaving. But he's going to cross the line ahead of Alex Fretwell. And then the seldom seen Ferrari of Glenn Andre Christensen will cross the line in 13th in class, 29th overall, and I believe that will be it for the results. It absolutely will be. Okay, let's bring up the feature results then, shall we, and have a look at the outcome of that second race of the night. Will Soper takes the win from Gilles Philipparts and Yannis Albert. Fraser Smith, another great recovery there, to 4th. Andrew Fairley finishes in 5th in the Mustang. Then it's John Breitenbach in 6th place ahead of Kevin Daniels in the Porsche. He remained ahead of Tristan Dinabrega and Paul Cowlishaw. Then it's Kevin Poon in a Veraco Esports Team Orange trio there of Kaz Brinkhausen and Chris Versteinen. Danny Lee, 13th in class ahead of Henning Hauger for Chapter X. Then Thomas Pugh, Matteo Carbonari, Dean Powell and Ryan Ottens were both a lap down. So too was Luke Lucchese, and the drivers that won't be classified are Raz Harper, Luke King, Tom Weston and Luke Van Gortel. Looking over in the pro standings, it's Laurens de Dapper taking his 2nd win of the night, ahead of Chris Jennings and Jack Wyborn. Those two just swapped the other way around. Matt Hoyland in 4th place, with Ashley Brooks taking 5th in class. Laurens van der Water is 6th ahead of Eric Verlet and Bobby Trundley. Championship leader not having a great night tonight. Stephen Donnelly finishes 9th ahead of Victor van Zeist. We didn't see any of him this evening. Sorry, Victor. Malcolm Coates in 7th. Sorry, I'm reading his number. 11th. Alex Fretwell in 12th. Glenn Andre Christensen 13th. And then the cars not classified: Nick Stubb, Matthew Croft, Liam Kelso and Jason Hodgson. So, who do we speak to after that? Because, that was scarring for some of the drivers in there. Let's have a ganders and speak to... I really want to speak to Will Soper. Because, of course, on the track, Will, you win that race in the second race of the evening. However, you know what I'm going to ask you. Was that just a miscalculation?
That was dreadful. I missed my braking point. I was in no intention of overtaking Kaz at any point. You've probably seen me kind of weaving behind him a few times, trying to make him look in his mirrors, but I didn't have the pace to overtake him. I had no intention. I just missed my braking marker and either was going to completely rear-end him or try and get alongside. Nobody wants to win that way. I feel dreadful for Kaz.
I was going to say, as you crossed the line, I said you wouldn't have wanted to win it that way, regardless of whether it was a move or not. You know, never want that to be the outcome. But what did you make overall of this evening? Because I mean, it's a Marmite track, isn't it, to say the least?
It's a tricky track. Not great for racing. My first race was not great. I managed to pick up some damage, literally turn 1, lap 1. So I was kind of nursing a wheel at 30 degrees most of the race, and that wasn't great. And I wasn't feeling good about starting in P2, but actually settled in nicely behind Kaz and was feeling really good up until that stupid mistake. I don't know if he's listening. I hope he is. I will self-report that mistake, and Unfortunately, on a track like this, you can't give the place back because you basically park it, which doesn't serve anybody really. So
yeah, well,
that's gutting, really.
Well, fair play to you though, Will. It's good to hear the sportsmanship aspect of it at the end of the day, and you know, I wanted to have a chat with you and just see if that was the case, because I didn't think it was a move, and it's what I said at the time as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, fair play to you, mate. But still, you know, a win on the road, and still, even if anything gets applied, you'll still get some solid championship points out of tonight. So you must feel pretty good about that, at least.
Absolutely, yeah. Just wish I could take it back and be P2. That was more than enough. And really apologies to Chaz. He absolutely deserved the win there.
Anyone else you'd like to give a thanks to before I let you go, Will?
Just a couple quick ones. You guys, as always, fantastic. Always watch the streams back, and they're really enjoyable. You do a great job.
Thank you.
To Fraser, who I don't know where he finished, but he's been outstanding. He's given me setups pretty much every week, which has kept me on the black stuff. And finally, if they watch my kids, I was giving them a shout out.
Lovely stuff. Well, great to speak to you either way, Will. Sorry about the circumstances, but well done on at least winning on the road, and hopefully I'll speak to you again as the season goes on, mate.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thanks. Bye.
Well, as you heard, everybody, Will Soper, he wasn't going for the move there. It was just a miscalculation, and unfortunately took the contact there with Chaz Brinkhausen, and good on him, to be fair, with, you know, being a good sport about it and everything, and wanting to self-report and so on. That's really lovely to hear. So we will interrupt the wonderful Lawrence Didappa. Lawrence, you must be over the moon, mate. Welcome to the box for one, but two,
Thank you.
two wins
Thank
in
you.
a row. You must be buzzing.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. But I was just talking to Jack Wyborn, who I took out there. I don't deserve the second win, in my opinion. I apologize to him. He's fine with it. But yeah, I feel dreadful about it.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, one thing I can't avoid doing as a commentator sometimes is having my steward's hat on. And I always thought, you know, Jack didn't give you anywhere to go in that circumstance. But, you know, I'm not trying to say go and take your apology back. But, you know, it's always about having different perspectives on it. But what did you make overall of this evening? Because it seemed like a mighty big challenge.
Yeah, it was a big challenge. I knew I liked the track a lot. Like, it's my favorite track in the service.
Yeah.
And I was going to perform well on my laps. I didn't have a great feeling for the qualifying lap and stuff. But then in practice, in the open practice, when the session started, I just did a 18.6, I believe, or a 80.5 flat. And I was like over the moon of that. I was like talking to other teammates, Pete Paiva, Lawrence van der Water, in the Discord chat that I was P5 in global.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy.
Fair play. Well, it certainly came together for you this evening, and I mean, looking back at the last few race meetings, there hasn't been a podium to speak of. So, what are your thoughts at the halfway point of the season? Have you felt like it's gone all right so far? Are you confident for the next half?
I'm confident on this track, but not on other tracks. Like, I have a feeling for some tracks that are going to go well, and some that just going to be a hell.
Well, at least you're prepared.
Yeah, I need loads of practice. So yeah,
we'll see, mate. Well, either way, is there anyone you'd like to give a thank you to before we let you go tonight?
Jack Wyborn for the great battles with him. Yeah, and Luke van Gortel, Pro Elite class, because he was nice to me on chat and Instagram. I was chatting with him before the race.
Oh, fair play.
Just exchanging a bit, and big thanks to him.
Lovely stuff. Well, it's great to hear of the friendliness between drivers, and hopefully the rest of your season continues to go this well, Laurence. Thank you very much for joining us, mate, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you. See you soon.
Cheers. Lawrence Didappa, and I always say the word Laurent, however, in many different ways, many a time. Now, I think that the next driver was pretty much ready for an interview, because as soon as we lobbed Laurence Didappa out of the room, Jack Wyborn was ready to go. Jack, 2 podiums tonight, and it's been a while since we've seen you on a class podium, so you must be absolutely buzzing with that one.
Yeah, I'm happy with that in the end. Yeah, it was a hard race. It was quite boring, the first one, to be honest. But yeah, the second one was rather interesting when we had like 1.5 seconds covering the top 4. I was so hoping one of the cars in front would make a mistake just to be behind me.
I was going to say, as a pro class driver, you're surely looking in your mirrors sometimes wondering if there's any elite class drivers ahead or behind you and all over the place, because especially on a circuit like this, you have to have your wits about you from one class to the next, don't you?
Yeah, you can't. You've got to be so careful with it. Like I can't think of who it was in the first race sat on my bumper all the way around, but I had to keep him there because I wanted to buffer, so I didn't have anyone else to attack me from behind.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Hard thing, and yeah, obviously in the second one we had that incident with Lawrence. Yeah, it was just an unfortunate thing in my opinion, but bit of I thought he would have bailed the moment I squeezed him up against the wall, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I gave my opinion on it at the time that he didn't have a lot of room to go into, but at the same time he then came in and said that he felt awful about it. It's always a sort of two sides to the coin thing, and it's just hard racing at the end of the day, isn't it? You guys are so competitive in this split. It's amazing to watch, and it must be great behind the wheel though when you do have battles like that.
Oh yeah, it is brilliant. I enjoyed the battle with him, to be fair, but yeah, I thought when we had the slow car and that, and I obviously pinched him up to the wall. I thought he would bail on it because of the angle he would have had to try and make the corner, but he left his car in there, and it's one of them things. But it was really enjoyable though. But yeah, after bottling Virginia last week, it was quite good to get back on the podium.
I was going to say, it's always a bit of redemption, isn't it? It sort of just reaffirms a bit of confidence in yourself as a driver when you have a result like that. So how are you feeling about the second half of the season now at this point?
I'm feeling pretty confident. I'm hoping that we can just keep having more great battles, to be honest. I just enjoy the racing more than anything. If we can have good battles, I don't really care where it's for, to be honest. But yeah, it'd be nice if it's still at the front.
That's a fantastic mindset to have, Jack. We absolutely love to hear it. Is there anyone you'd like to give a quick thank you to before we go?
I'll give a shout out to Ian again. He was good spotting. He was spotting for me again, and yeah, he was really helpful in that, keeping an eye on what was happening. I didn't even know I took the lead. I literally just looked down at my relative and just went, I'm winning.
Yeah,
how?
I think Lawrence had a really big blink for like 5 seconds at turn 1, and then he just appeared behind Chris Jennings all of a sudden. It was really weird.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, I'm winning now. Okay, I'll take it.
Well, fair play to you, mate. Fair play. And of course, we hope the rest of the season goes well for you, Jack. Well done on the podiums tonight, and we'll see you at Sebring.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Have a good one.
Cheers. Have a good one, mate. Bye.
Jack Wyborn there, having a very solid night with 2 podiums. And that, unfortunately, is all we've got time for here on Chaz Draycott Media tonight. Plenty of drama here at Long Beach this evening. The stewards may not be as busy as they expected to be, though, because there wasn't as much carnage, but it was certainly a very busy night of racing. One of the absolute highlights, Fraser Smith, once again, making his way through very cleanly as well, it must be said, in reverse grid conditions, and of course from a lower qualifying than he expected. He continues leading the championship as we come away from Long Beach and head to Sebring in a week's time. Don't forget, I want to give another thank you to Kame, Keenan Eco Energy and GP2 Group, the wonderful sponsors of this championship. Thanks everybody for watching as well here on Chaz Draycott Media tonight with me, Chaz Draycott. Lovely to see you all again. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in a week's time.
And look at Jochen Hahn and Antonio Albacete. The two of them go flying through the right-hand side, then the left-hand side. Jochen Hahn around the outside, and Lucas Hahn, no father and son, come together on the exit of turn 1.
And the best thing about this is the fact that it's still a 15-minute sprint race. They've not extended the time of the race. It's still just like, it's going to be, 7 laps of Spa-Francorchamps?
We get to the real nitty-gritty of motorsport.
Cranston and Smith are side by side for the title in the very final race of the season. As they go back up the hill towards the Schumacher. Nils Kor clips the back at 10. Simon Povey clips the side of Nils Kor. They go over the hill and Povey's around.
Oh my god, that's going to definitely be the thumbnail when it hit me in the right direction.
Thank you so much.
23 cars.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.